All right, everybody, good morning. Welcome to Within the Frame. And I say morning because it's 11 o'clock, and that's typically the time I wake up, so I've been up for a long time. Thank you for watching and tuning in for our first live stream. This is a really big deal. We've always wanted to do a live stream, and it's pretty awesome. I want to thank my crew before we start. Karina, Kevin, Kyle, Riker. This is impossible without you guys. You guys don't get to see them, but they're working the magic behind the camera. So I can be here to talk to you guys about your morning movie, about your morning movie news, about everything going on today in the world of film, or actually, should I say more going on in the week of. So let's start out. First things first. We're going to start with a little bit of sad news. The tragic passing of director Curtis Hanson. Curtis Hanson directed movies like 8 Mile and the underrated film LA Confidential. Curtis Hanson passed away at 71. He hadn't been making movies for a while. I believe his last film was Chasing Mavericks in 2012. Reports said he'd suffering from Alzheimer's. So our thoughts are with his family and to the great legacy he left behind. The next news story, of course. Sorry if we just jumped right in. Like I said, we're getting pretty new at this, so we're still trying to find our transitions and whatnot. Also, I should let you know that if you guys want to say something, you guys please, if you're watching live, please check in. You can chat with us. We'll comment back. We'll have a conversation going. Any movie news that breaks, please let me know because I really can't check anything right now as I'm here. But as for other news that happened this week, Bill Hader's been cast in Power Rangers. Rad, right? I was never a Power Rangers fan growing up, but this movie is getting a lot of traction. Bill Hader's going to be playing Alpha 5, the robot who helps. I believe his name is Zed. Zord. I don't know. Like I said, I'm never a Power Rangers fan. I was a Yu-Gi-Oh! Pokemon fan as a kid. Bill Hader's joined the cast alongside Elizabeth Banks and Bryan Cranston, as well as a series of talented young actors. And Bill Hader's like the funniest guy in Hollywood right now. You know he's going to bring his comedy A game because he doesn't have a comedy B game. It's always funny. So I'm excited to see him joining the cast. I think Power Rangers is shaping up to be a really exciting film and giving it the big budget treatment it deserves and that the fans want. The next bit of news is a little bit more on the technical side. Wanda Entertainment, a Chinese film company, one of the largest ones in China actually, owners of AMC theaters, has partnered with Sony to help market and distribute their films in China, since China is the second biggest movie market in the world right now, soon to become the biggest movie market in the world. It makes a great deal of sense. Sony will be partnering with about Jumanji, Passengers, which we're going to talk about a little bit later, Passengers, that Jennifer Lawrence, Chris Pratt movie, and The Smurfs. Rumors have it that maybe Spider-Man Homecoming, but it's because of the tricky situation with Marvel and Disney. It's not entirely sure how they'll partner with that one. And partnering with Chinese film companies have worked out great for films like Star Trek Beyond, Transformers, Age of Extinction, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows. So, good for Sony. Sony needs a win, especially after that awful email hack. Now let's move on to Paramount. Paramount actually has 3 news stories we're going to be covering today. The first is that Rings, the third film in the Ring franchise, has been pushed back for the third time. A lot of threes here. Has been pushed back. It was originally supposed to come out this Halloween, but I think because of the underperformance of Blair Witch, it's scared off Paramount and is deciding to release Rings next February 3rd. It's the only scaring that Blair Witch seemed to do this week. Somewhere out there, someone found that funny. Somebody found that funny somewhere. Rings was pushed back. I don't really have a big deal of faith. There are certain franchises that you want to come back, certain ones you don't want to come back. We wanted Bridget Jones to come back. I don't think anybody wanted Rings to come back. First one was a good novelty. Did anyone really see Ring 2? And it's been how many years since the Ring 2? So we don't think anybody gives a I can't curse on live. It's really weird, people. So if you see me restraining, if you see me stuttering, it's probably because I'm trying to curse and I'm not, and I don't want to curse. But also Rings' pushback release also affected Paramount in that they pushed back Friday the 13th from the January 13th, Friday the 13th spot, to October of 2017, October 13th. So I'm a little sad it's taking this long to get a Jason movie. Not going to lie. Jason's like one of my favorites. So the very fact that It's been, for perspective, it's almost been 8 years since we last saw Jason on the big screen. That's a longer period of time than when Freddy vs. Jason and the reboot came out. That was 6 years. So it's been a long time since we've seen the hockey mask killer on the big screen. I don't like that. So hopefully we'll get that soon. Hopefully they don't push that back again. Paramount also reported that they are expected to lose $115 million on monster trucks. You've all seen the trailer for monster trucks. It's something that looks like a joke you would see on The Simpsons or like a bad Nickelodeon movie in the 90s. And it's funny because Nickelodeon actually is making it. They just decided to put it in on theaters instead of television. But it's that one about the alien who gets in the truck and starts doing all this crazy stuff. It looks so stupid. And you know what? I want to be surprised. Maybe it'll be awesome. I would love that, to shut everybody up. Be like, hey, maybe we wrote off a movie that was rad. Lego Movie did it, but Battleship didn't. So it might end up more like Battleship. So Paramount obviously made monster trucks and greenlit it because they thought they needed a franchise. They've been struggling with franchises lately. They lost Indiana Jones and they lost the Marvel to Disney. Transformers is right now the only thing that makes them money at this point. It seems like Star Trek underperformed this summer. Ninja Turtles underperformed this summer. Mission Impossible makes them money, but it's hard to get Tom Cruise to lock down for a movie because he's so busy. So Paramount, if you need a franchise and you're going to partner with Nickelodeon, Danny Phantom is waiting right there. We all want a Danny Phantom movie. Superhero movies are the thing. You greenlight a Danny Phantom movie, play that theme in the theater. You hear a cool teaser trailer, and you hear he's a Phantom, gonna light the internet up on fire. So there is that bit of news covering all the Paramount stuff. Now we're gonna cover some of the more technical stuff on the CEO side. Bob Iger from Disney was talking about Star Wars and Marvel, saying that they have plans outlined up until 2020 for obviously Star Wars spin-off films, other Marvel films. That's comforting. I know a lot of people want to say that, they're too invested in franchises, but Disney has always been about, we're going to find what makes money and we're going to milk that. We're going to milk it till it's dry. As for Star Wars, they were talking about Rogue One. Rogue One is an interesting place. They had to clarify that it's not going to make as much money as Force Awakens. Did anybody expect it to make as much money as Force Awakens? Because I'm glad Disney's realistic with those expectations. Because, this is essentially we went 10 years without a Star Wars movie, so of course our appetite was high. We just had a huge steak dinner. You can't expect us to eat a second steak dinner. This is a little bit of a dessert. It's it doesn't have to be. Rogue One makes $300 million in the U.S. box office. It'll be a hit. It'll be fine. As for me, I'm a little concerned about it. That's just because Gareth Edwards is a director I'm not sold on. I hated Godzilla, I hated monsters. When he was announced as this director, I was like, shoot. But to be fair, I was excited when Josh Trank was announced for a Star Wars director, and let's look how bad Fantastic Four turned out. So, joke's on me, right? What do I know? Obviously, the next one we talk about Disney. We talk about Warner Brothers, because that's their arch rival at this point. DC has Star Wars, Warner Brothers has Harry Potter. Disney has Mickey Mouse, Warner Brothers has Bugs Bunny. And Disney has Marvel, so Warner Brothers has DC. And they the CEO of Time Warner recently said, DC films have room to improve. Now, regardless of what you think about the DC EU, if you love it, that's great. If you hate it, that's great. Well, not great. It's not great to hate anything, people. Don't hate, appreciate. But if you don't like it, this gives you a little bit more I feel good about this now because now they admit that they're flawed. There's nothing wrong with admitting you're bad. You could either admit you're bad and stay bad, like Transformers has done, and those movies still make money. Or you could realize that we're bad and we can maybe do better, and that's how you get Fast and the Furious. They didn't hit their stride till the 5th film. And the 6th film is awesome. Have you seen Fast and Furious 6? I didn't think I was going to like it, but I was like, this is rad. They've got a tank on a freeway. So DC, you've still got time to fix everything. You're obviously reshuffling with Jeff Johns and with Zack Snyder taking a less approach. Again, Wonder Woman, the trailer looks rad. Justice League looks a lot better. Aquaman, Flash, you have so many other characters you can rely on. And please, if anybody's watching, I'm just going to throw it out here. Paul Thomas Anderson for Man of Steel 2. I know it's crazy, but it also sounds awesome. Get the best living director to direct the best superhero. We're all sold. And then the last bit of movie news for the week is Jared Leto has been cast as Andy Warhol. Because, of course. I feel like Jared Leto's gone through this weird period of from like 2013 where everyone loved him to 2016 where everybody hates him. I don't know what happened in the middle. I don't know who he pissed off, but he obviously went out of favor right before Suicide Squad was coming out. It seemed like everyone was kind of turned on him, and after Suicide Squad, people really turned. I thought the Joker was fine, but I understand like the reports of him being on set and his method acting got a little out of hand. But Leto's a good actor. He's given great performances. He deserved that Oscar for Dallas Buyers Club. And him playing Andy Warhol, yeah, it's an obvious choice. It's obvious, nothing wrong with that. It's a little standard, but we wanted Sacha Baron Cohen to play Freddie Mercury, and that was pretty obvious, so sometimes obvious works. I think he'll be fine. I heard someone say they'd rather him play David Bowie. I mean, you could have him play David Bowie, just don't have him play both. So there's that. Jared Leto, I'm still excited. Please be in another DC movie. Let us actually see your Joker. Or Warner Brothers, let us see his Joker. Come on. So that's it for the movie news. Now we're going to move on to television because I have to move on to television. That's just what my producer tells me. Actually, I'm no joke. I love television. Everyone loves television. It's like where all the good stuff is right now. We all watched Stranger Things this summer. We didn't go to the movies this summer because we were all watching Stranger Things. But as for television, obviously it's a big week because the Emmys just aired last week, and the new seasons are starting up. As for the Emmys, I didn't really watch them just because I didn't have any personal stake in them. None of the shows I watched were nominated, but it was a great time because, yes, I know I should be watching People vs. O.J. Simpson. I should be watching Mr. Robot. I should be watching Game of Thrones, and I've watched a few episodes of Game of Thrones, and it's like I just have so many television shows to watch that these just don't like register for me as like they're high priority, but there's so many high priority things it kind of gets out of hand. So, but I would like to name some shows that maybe don't get enough attention or love, especially this year at the Emmys. Penny Dreadful. You know what? I'm gonna have my Kanye moment. Maggie Smith, you're a great actress, but Billie Piper gave the best performance for a supporting actress in a series this year. Her monologue at the end of Penny Dreadful made me cry. It was so good and so well written. That whole cast was so great in that show. Rory Kennery, the fact that he didn't get a supporting nomination for The Monster is heartbreaking. And Ava Green, oh my God, Ava Green gave an MVP performance in season 1 when she has a sex scene by herself, possessed by a demon. Like, that's as perverted as that sounds. It's such a great testament to her acting. And then all throughout season 3, her inner turmoil. It was great. And it's sad that they're in their final season. They didn't get an Emmy nomination for Best Drama or Best Actress. Because Ava Green deserved that shit. Oh, I cursed on live. Well, we'll deal with that later. Other shows. You're the Worst. I'm really sad hasn't gotten a nomination for Best Comedy. It's airing on FXX right now. And I'm not going to lie, I hated Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. I watched 3 episodes. I didn't think it was funny at all. I thought it annoyed me. It made me want to watch New Girl because New Girl's a better show of similar quirky premise. But like You're the Worst is seriously so funny and so deep. And I've been binge watching it again because the new season just started on FX and I just went back and rewatched it. And it's so funny. The actors are all great. I think it also sends like a very positive like message about like these people are really terrible and they're really flawed, but they find like it deals with serious issues of depression, and it kind of shows that there's nothing wrong with you being the way you are. Like there are people that can help you cope with you being you, and that sometimes we find this inner circle of people that are just as messed up as we are. It's really funny, really sweet. Check it out. Other great shows, obviously, Ray Donovan on Showtime. I just think someone said, let's give an excuse for Liv Schreiber to be a badass because he's so cool. And I first started watching it just because of Liv Schreiber, and now I'm watching it because it's such a good show. But seriously, I don't even think he's acting. I just think he's just that cool in real life. Liv Schreiber, if you're watching, you're awesome. Please be watching. Another great show is, and I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for this one, Don't Make Fun. Girl Meets World. Yes, I said it. The Disney Channel show that is a sequel to Boy Meets World is actually a really good show. Saw it on Netflix. My roommate was watching it, so I started watching it with her, and I really got into it. And I think it's better than Boy Meets World in the sense that it doesn't go too sentimental and too cheesy with like the way Boy Meets World did, because it was on ABC, where it did like that sad music and whatnot. You all know that like really sad emotional music. Girl Meets World, because it's on Disney Channel, it's not allowed to go too serious, but it's allowed to go just serious enough to address issues like bullying, friendship, growing up, identity crisis, and especially it's probably the most feminist show on television. I know it's weird for me to say, but the idea that you have two characters that are in a kind of a love triangle, two best friends, and that they don't let it ruin their friendship. They just kind of treat it as it's a thing, it'll pass, nothing's going to get in the way of our friendship. That was really refreshing to see. I think there's a good message for young girls and not just young girls, young kids in general. So Girl Meets World, underrated. Plenty of other shows that are underrated. We'll get to those later, but those are just the 4 I wanted to highlight. Ray Donovan, You're the Worst, Penny Dreadful, and Girl Meets World. Oh, one more actually. It just premiered. The new season, Masters of Sex. Such a great show on Showtime. Lizzie Kaplan and Michael Sheen give dynamite performances every year. It's almost like, it's what I wish Mad Men was more like. I liked Mad Men, but this is just, there's something about the complexity of seeing like the evolving culture, especially how we deal with sex and whatnot, from where we're so repressed in the 50s to where we're in season 4 now. We're in the 60s and it's much more liberated. Great show. Check it out. Showtime is nailing it, really. So that was on the television side. What is next on the agenda? Sorry, I'm pretty new at this. We don't have a whole fancy setup. I'm trying to remember everything our notes were supposed to go through. Oh, wait a minute. Now I remember. So television is over. Now we're going to move on to the Arizona films. As you know, we broadcast out of Arizona. All of us are from Arizona. We're currently broadcasting in the Mesa Public Library. And a lot of us are aspiring film majors and students and whatnot. We want to make our own films and whatnot. And we want to highlight people's channels here. We want to highlight people's film projects here because there is a film industry out here. Most people want to talk about how there's no tax incentives. We need tax incentives. Yes, we do. There's no denying that. But there are people who are still trying and working out here. And I think they deserve to be mentioned. So what I have currently is a series of some notable things we want to highlight. Local actor Sean Dillingham, he just got his 60th commercial, was just cast, or not even just cast technically. He's on Longmire season 5 on Netflix. Longmire just dropped today for its next season, and he is he's labeled as Suspicious Boston Man. And it sounds like a small part, but the very fact that we have a local town here playing a role on a show, on a Netflix original program like Longmire, that's great. And it shows that there is work and that there are people out here that are going for it and trying. And that they're getting it. They're not just trying, they're getting it. So that's awesome. Running Wild Films, also, their latest feature, Porches and Private Eyes, is screening from September 23rd through Thursday the 29th at the Pollock Tempe Cinema. Go check it out. They're probably one of the biggest people making films here in Phoenix and Arizona. And the very fact that they have a feature that's playing for a week, you should really support not only a local film, but at a film that's, it's filmed by people here and for people here. And not just people here, everywhere, but go support. And then last but not least, the Arizona Underground Film Festival is going on in Tucson this week. And, if you got nothing better to do, go check it out. I think that there really isn't much to go see in theaters right now. Magnificent Seven, I guess, but the reviews haven't been that good. We'll have a review for that here next week. But just go check out some local short films, and especially going to give a special shout out to my friend Lucy Owens, whose film God Only Knows is screening there. I've worked with Lucy on that film and a few other projects. And Lucy will actually be in here next week to talk about the film and her process as director. So we're excited to have her. Lucy, if you're watching, you're probably not, but break a leg, good luck, whatever I'm supposed to say. I don't know if there's like a superstitious rule for saying good luck in the film industry. I'm pretty sure that we don't have that. So there's that. And now we're going to review a film that I just saw recently, an Arizona film, a documentary called The Man Behind the Suit. We've had both their producer and the director in the studio. We've talked to them, Janet Salas and Victor Vargas, as well as the editor, Colton Tursick. You can check out a video I did for them interviewing those three on the channel My Road to Hollywood. We have an interview with them. And, I went to a screening. They had let me see a private screening before, and they let me go to their big public event. It was a great thing for them. I was so happy for them. They've been working on this since I met them sophomore year of college, so 3 years. That's a long time. And it's one of those documentaries that it's not in my wheelhouse. It's not in my interest. I like three things: romantic comedies, superhero movies, and movies about young white guy problems. I know it's fucked up, but I'm fired for that. But it's just something I'm into. So a documentary about a Reagan administration Secret Serviceman wasn't in my interest, but I went to go see it because of my friends, and I really liked it. I was really impressed, and I really enjoyed it. I was entertained, and the fact that it's a film about... Sorry, there's a sound going on, so that's the thing about recording live. You get to see the magic happen. But, there was something about... just the simplicity of it. Didn't need to be any added drama. The fact that you could take one man's life and make it interesting was worthwhile. It was sweet to see this, this guy kind of rise up. He wanted one career path as a fighter pilot, and the fact that he couldn't get that job, so he started another career path as a member of the Secret Service and got to be the head of it. The man's name is Robert DeProspero, or as the film calls him, Mr. D. And it's funny because I feel like I have to call him Mr. D just because of the amount of respect he has in the movie and all the people who, he impacted. Like they show, between being a Secret Service man, he volunteered as a coach for a wrestling team, and all the kids respected him. They brought back a lot of the kids who he coached, and they still have trinkets of his that they gave him. A lot of fond memories were formed, and the fact that this one man was able to put family first. He obviously had his job, but he never let that get in the way of his family. That was a really sweet message. And it's something that would actually make a really good feature film. It's something that if you're looking for feature film ideas, please check out this documentary called Man Behind the Suit. He deserves, a life story about him would be great. Dealing with, obviously the Reagan assassination, or just the idea of a family man and a Secret Service man. Walking in both worlds, not having some deep, dark secret. Just kind of a wholesome family entertainment. So I enjoyed it. It was great to see them, their accomplishment. Janet Salas, Victor Vargas, Colton Tursick. You can look them up. Very proud of all of you guys. So that's our Arizona film review. And now we're going to move into a new film review for a movie that I am super late on. Kubo and the Two Strings. This movie came out a month ago. For some reason, I didn't get to see it when it came out. I actually have a little poster for it right here for the character Monkey. Didn't expect much from it, or I guess I don't know which way I'm pointing. Anyway. So I went to go see it with a friend for his birthday, and oh my God, it was beautiful. I was kicking myself that it took this long to see the movie. I was like, why didn't I see this? Why didn't I rush out to go see this? Everyone was telling me how good it was, and I just didn't listen. And it's so... Okay, first of all, the animation is beautiful. You can think of Leica as kind of like the Trader Joe's of animation, or the Whole Foods. It's it's not your mainstream one. It's not Pixar, DreamWorks, or Illumination Entertainment, but it's really good, high quality, alternative animated films. Whereas a lot of the other animation houses, because of the way kids entertainment is now, where it's very loud and colorful and bombastic and joke after joke after joke, and just these, a lot of loud noises. Nothing wrong with that. Kids like that stuff, and sometimes it's, it's fine. Pixar does it great. I think sometimes DreamWorks does it great. I still don't like anything Illumination Entertainment has done, but maybe Sing will change that. That trailer cracked me up a little bit. But anyway, so we have the beautiful clay animation. The fact that clay animation is still going strong. Coraline was awesome. Paranorman was great. I didn't see Box Trolls. I didn't really have any interest in that one, but this one, my God. Just the animation. I was amazed at times. I was like, how much of this is stop motion? Some of this has to be CGI. What? There's no way. And it's so calm. It's peaceful. It takes its time setting up its story. Very silent in the beginning. I was like, this is a kid's movie. I'm used to everyone yelling and loud noises, but like I said, it's great. Great hero's journey. It's very standard. It feels like a folk tale, like it's supposed to be. You have a kid going on an adventure with these wacky sidekicks along the way, going after a quest to reclaim these 3 mystical items. And the idea, the whole basis of the film is the idea of the importance of stories and what we tell people, the importance that these stories carry with us, legacies. So it's very meta in that sense. I hate that word as much as you do, probably, meta. Everyone uses meta now, but it's true. The idea that, these stories carry weight and power, and that Kubo defeats the villain not with a sword and a brute force, but he defeats him with the power of a story. The idea of the word is, the legend, the legacy, the word. So great animation, wonderful characters. Every character in this movie was great, from Charlize Theron as Monkey to Matthew McConaughey, my boy, as Beetle. I love McConaughey. I'll see anything with him. So he was just he was a delight. And the kid who plays Kubo, I don't remember his name, but he's currently on Game of Thrones. He has such a vulnerability in his voice that you really feel for this kid every time he talks. The ending of the movie has a weird message. I'm not going to get into it. We can talk about it in the comments. It's a little bit of a spoiler thing, but the ending kind of left me confused. I was like, what is the message they're trying to leave kids with this one? Because it's kind of messed up. I get where they're going with it, but the actual message, the way it's executed, feels very odd. I don't know. The more I'm thinking about it, the more creeped out I am by it. But anyway, Kubo, beautiful animated film. I think it's been a great year for kids' films. At the box office, Finding Dory and Secret Life of Pets dominated the summer. Zootopia dominated earlier in the year, and so did Jungle Book. And then it was sad that Pete's Dragon and BFG didn't perform as well, but they were still great, received well critically, and hopefully audiences will catch them later on DVD. So that's it for the big Hollywood review. Our big budget film review. Check in, next week we'll probably have reviews up for Bridget Jones's Baby. Yes, I want to see Bridget Jones's Baby. Shut up. It's cute. I like romantic comedies. And then we'll have, hopefully, Magnificent Seven, and possibly, if I can squeeze it in, Mrs. Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, because Tim Burton is my boy, and we're going to be on point. And I think it's time for me to wrap up. You've probably heard me talk way too much already. I'm talking a mile a minute. Thank you, everybody who watched. Please subscribe if you want to. We really, really appreciate it. We're going to have more content up. We're going to have more videos. We're going to be doing this every Friday. We'll have guest hosts. We're going to have interviews with local filmmakers and a bunch of talents in the area. So if you please check us out on Facebook, also at Within the Frame. You can check us out on Twitter at Also Within the Frame. And please click that subscribe button. And if you want to follow me on Twitter at RLFink94. And thank you for watching and staying within the frame. Have a good day. We're still live.